House of Dragon, The Impact of Trauma on Relationships and Communities. House of the Dragon, the prequel to Game of Thrones, has captivated audiences with its intricate plot and complex characters. But beneath the surface of dragon battles and royal intrigue lies a deeper exploration of the impact of trauma on relationships and communities. Trauma is a thread that weaves its way through the lives of many characters in the show. From Rhaenyra's childhood trauma at the hands of her father, Viserys, to Daemon's struggles with his own demons, the consequences of trauma are evident in the way they interact with others. One of the most striking aspects of House of the Dragon is the way it portrays the cyclical nature of trauma. Characters who have experienced trauma themselves often go on to inflict it on others, perpetuating a cycle of pain and suffering. This is particularly evident in the relationship between Rhaenyra and her father, where Rhaenyra's trauma is triggered by Viserys' own trauma. This cycle of trauma is not limited to individual relationships, but also has a profound impact on communities. The Targaryen family's history of trauma and violence has created a toxic environment that perpetuates itself from generation to generation. The show highlights the ways in which trauma can become a cultural norm, with characters often justifying or even romanticizing their own violent behavior. The show also explores the ways in which trauma can be passed down through generations, often in subtle and insidious ways. The Targaryen family's history of trauma is not just a product of individual experiences, but also of the cultural and societal norms that have been passed down through the family. This highlights the importance of acknowledging and addressing the intergenerational transmission of trauma. In addition to its portrayal of individual and communal trauma, House of the Dragon also raises important questions about the role of privilege and power in perpetuating trauma. The show highlights how those in positions of power and privilege often use their status to silence and erase the voices of those who have experienced trauma. This is particularly evident in the way that the women of the Targaryen family are treated, with their voices and experiences often being dismissed or ignored. Ultimately, House of the Dragon offers a nuanced and thoughtful exploration of the impact of trauma on relationships and communities. Through its portrayal of complex characters and their experiences, the show highlights the ways in which trauma can be passed down, perpetuated, and transformed. By exploring these themes, House of the Dragon invites its audience to reflect on the ways in which trauma affects us all, and how we can work to break the cycle of pain and suffering.